Hello and welcome back to another MC Championship video. We were blessed with the festive MCC 28 teams last week, so let's discuss each team, analyze their strengths and weaknesses, and try to rank each one from last to first. And I say try because wow, they're balanced. All thanks go to Scott's Major for these insane teams. A quick disclaimer, my discussion of each team is based purely on facts and statistics from past events, nothing will be made up, and as for my ranking, it's all opinion based while remaining unbiased. So please, if you have something to say about these teams, then go ahead and join me down below in the comments, share your thoughts on the MCC 28 teams. Don't tell me I'm wrong because once again, it's my opinion, and yeah, I'm most definitely wrong with all of my placements because the teams are so balanced. Also, there are so many possible combinations where to put each team, plus we don't know the game order, what games you will even be in this event, and the coin multiplier therefore makes it impossible for me to get every single placement correct, but in previous videos I've managed to get just a couple right. With that out of the way, let's look at our MCC 28 teams. In last place, the best team this event, of course it's the Sapphire Santas with Critic Zeus, Vixella, Dr. Gluon and James Turner. Surely this placement doesn't need justifying. It's the Simmers who have been playing since MCC 1 and have participated in every Christmas event, including MCCs 13 and 19. Despite playing for fun, I think Critic Zeus will try and lead his team where possible, as he is clearly the most competitive member of his team, having won MCC 21, and in his last 3 canon events he finished 15th, 16th and 14th respectively. And while I don't think Zeus will manage those decent placements this time round, these previous events with more competitive teams should have given him more confidence and experience within MCC. Next up in 9th we have the Pink Presents with Tapel, Filza, Ludwig and Snifferish. Over 2 years ago we saw the duo of Tapel and Filza team to win MCC 12. Here they are back again, a fantastic PvP pair, especially in Sky Battle. Of course, Filza just came from his recent MCC 26 victory. His placements are either middle of the pack or close to the top 10, which is promising. Tapel's performances, however, are a far cry from what we saw him achieve in Season 1. Somehow he hasn't pulled himself into the top 10 since MCC 15, right near the start of this season. He teamed with Snifferish in MCC 22, where their team came 10th by a mile, and I think this team is similar to the MCC 22 Blue Bats in terms of vibes and attitude. Ludwig finally makes his canon return after disappearing for almost 2 years after his MCC 13 debut, which was also a Christmas event actually. He also popped back for the half canon MCC 27 Underdogs event just a couple weeks ago. If you include Season 1 stats, you'll find that they're the strongest parkour tag team due to Ludwig having a high average in this game after only playing it once. Here's an interesting one to watch out for, the Cerulean Candy Canes with Pizza Hut, In the Little World, Captain Puffy and Pullison Moon. This will be a real test for Pizza Hut, closing off the season with a team which, it's fair to say, may have done better 2 years ago than now, and most of that is due to Pete's waning prowess, becoming one of the least reliable S tiers of Season 2. But that's not to say he's a poor leader or that this team is weak. This is a fairly all-round team, and Pete can bring his team's placements higher with some unexpected turnarounds like we saw in MCC 25. He's teamed with In the Littlewood a couple times this year, including the recent MCC 26 and also with Pullison Moon for some events last year. Both Martin and Pearl are standard average players, but with Pete in command have sometimes risen beyond expectation. Captain Puffy should round this team off very smoothly by sharing a similar semi-competitive playstyle with the rest of the team. The cracked hole-in-the-wall duo of Pete and Pearl makes this a fantastic game for them to play late as the best team in this game. They're also the strongest parkour tag, Rocket Speed Rush and Skate to the Side team, so clearly the movement games are actually much more beneficial for them than you may have previously thought. Now we have the Mint Mistletoes with Hannah XX Rose, Sylvie, Strubble and Amesy. This may statistically look like one of the weakest teams this event, but it's also the team with arguably the largest potential. The team leader, Hannah Rose, also happens to be the least experienced member of the team, but that's okay because she's proven to be a strong player for leadership, as demonstrated just now with MCC 27, where she almost brought her team to dodgeball with second individual. There's also 2 recent canon participations where she has floated a little below top 10, but that could change this event if she keeps up practice. Joining her is fellow MCC 24 and 25 teammate Amesy, another recent addition arriving into the mainstream lineup 1 event before Hannah. But there are also experienced veterans on this team in Strubble, who just won MCC 26, and Sylvie, who has become one of the most improved players this whole season to the point where she can consistently place in the top 20. They are the best meltdown team statistically, with both Sylvie and Hannah appearing in the top 10 by this game's averages. Also the number 1 survival games team by almost 300 coins on average, due to Hannah's one time playing this game in MCC 25 to be currently the best SG player by a lot. Almost at the halfway point now, 6th place are the Emerald Elves with Illumina, Tommy and Jack Manifold and G Nelly. The very new but highly requested duo of Illumina and Tommy has already been fulfilled when it was confirmed they put each other's names down. While Illumina, a player of extraordinary proportions, should be the major powerhouse for the team, Tommy can assist in backing him up for PvP and movement. I reckon the Elves won't be too fixated on performing well and instead focus on content and memes, especially with the Tommy and Jack pairing. Despite this, I'm aware that they could potentially prove me wrong, as we saw with their team up in MCC 24, but to me this team is more similar to the less successful but still funny MCC 20 Pink Parrots. G Nelly perfectly complements the team dynamic, so hopefully this won't go as bad as the last time Tommy and Jack joined forces in MCC 26. Believe it or not, the Elves are projected to be the best build mod team, with Illumina as the best player of this game this event. They also score 2nd out of all the teams for Battlebox, Hole in the Wall and Meltdown. Here we go, moving into the top 5 teams for this event, starting with the Purple Penguins with Anfrost, Red Velvet Cake, Bad Boy Halo and Ponk. The only reason why I don't see this team in Dodgebot for now is the chaotic but funny duo of Anfrost and and Red Velvet Cake. Fair enough, they both featured in MCC Pride 22's finale, which was also Velvet's first event. So assuming they choose winning over content, this team could definitely be a heavy contender for Ponk and Velvet's first winners coins. And Frost leading the team is always a scary sight. He has mostly managed a regular solid spot in the top 10 and spends an excessive amount of time on VOD reviews and grinding out practice. We saw him team with Bad Boy Halo in MCC 26, where they didn't do great together due to half the team changing last minute, but we all saw the effort and hopefully they can learn from that and redeem themselves. Ponk did incredible in MCC 27, not only 5th individual but also catching back-to-back first places with 2 movement games in that event, despite his infrequency in MCC. While stats from underdogs do not count for Ponk and Velvet, it's highly recommended that they secure movement games, with Anfos and Ponk leading the way in these. Moving on to 4th place, which will be the Yellow Yetis with H-Bomb, Awesome Dude, Copfan and False Symmetry. H-Bomb has always been one of the most encouraging team leaders in MCC, so the fact that he's joined by a very skilled reinforcer in Awesome Dude who can help to execute his plans means that the team are in very strong hands pre-event, not to mention the fact that Sam just came back from 7th individual in MCC 27. To me, when I see this team, I'm reminded of the MCC 20 Yellow Yak, since that team also featured the Hermitcraft duo of False Symmetry and Cubfan, both highly competent build mod players, alongside H-Bomb, so no surprise that the Yetis are the second strongest build mod team by the statistics. They also managed to be the best for grid runners thanks to Awesome Dude, who's known for his crystal clear comms, and they are obviously the #1 team for Sands of Time, which shouldn't shock you as both H-Bomb and Cubfan are the first and second highest scoring SOT players by average coins, respectively. If the Yetis can reverse the new trend of skipping this game, they could potentially skyrocket to an even higher team finish. The 3rd place team, who unfortunately barely missed Dodgebolt, or should I say Snowbolt, for this list, are the Ginger Breadmen with Purple, Smager, Bekiamon, and Impulse SV. Purple returns after the dominant first place performance we saw from him in MCC 26, solidifying himself as currently the best player for the new Parkour Warrior and one of the best at Rocket Speed Rush. These are both games that the Breadmen should keep at the back of their minds in the Decision Dome. Smager is their build mod carrier, but his PvP has noticeably improved throughout the season. We've got 2 new players on this team, although Bekiamon did play it once in the non-canon MCC Rising in 2021, achieving a respectable 13th individual, and Impulse is one of our MCC 27 Underdogs champions, despite this being his only event, with 15th individual. So while these 2 players lack the level of expertise that Purple and Smager may have, it's very easy for them to get up to standard. Bekiamon already training on MCC Island, and Impulse with the VOD reviews from Underdogs shortly after his well-earned win. Here are the top 2 teams that could very well enter Dodgeball, although in actuality any of the 10 teams could make it to the finale. This is just my gut instinct. Our runner-up team are the Red Reindeer with Jojo Solos, Ranboo, Gemini Tay, and Good Times with Scar, reminiscent of the MCC 25 Green Geckos, which were victorious in that event as the duo of Jojo Solos and Scar return as they attempt to assist Ranboo in scoring his first win. Jojo's last event was also her best, claiming first individual thanks to some insane mechanical skill, not to mention her unearthly meltdown performance. Ranboo hit his rock bottom in the middle of the season, but has since regained lost ground with 4th individual in MCC 27. Scar and fellow Hermitcraft member Gemini Tay from the all-important backbone of this team. While Jojo and Ranboo will take lead in PvP, the Hermits will hold together the team comms and hold their own in movement-based challenges. Rather than having a single or even multiple best games, the Reindeer have several games where they score top half in, for instance 2nd in Sky Battle. This unparalleled level of consistency is crucial if they want to earn a position in the ultimate ending to Season 2. And in 1st place, the Teal Turkeys with Pun, Sneak Snack, Captain Sparkles, and Solidarity Gaming. Once again, the Teal Turkeys place first here, but unlike MCC 19, I think this is an event where the team have to work much harder to reach Dodgeball. Indeed, Puns, although still consistently top 10, has recently been failing to boost his team despite his dominating leadership style. And Sneak Snack's last event was months ago with Captain Sparkles in MCC 23, where they just missed a place in the finale, but that makes this team a really good one for redemption. Sneak and Jordan's placements, particularly this year, have been fluctuating to the point where it really depends on the day as to how they'll perform, but everyone here should be dedicated enough to secure the W. Puns and Sneak have already streamed MCC Island team practice together, and I'm sure Solidarity will want to end the season by winning the first and last events of Season 2. To do this, they will definitely need Ace Race, Battle Box, Parkour Tag, Parkour Warrior, and Sky Battle as late as possible. Yeah, that's a lot of games they do best in the event for, proving the incredible versatility of the Turkeys, which is vital for any team to be successful in the ever-changing, stressful, and random environment of MCC. Obviously, this ranking was very difficult, as always, and that's a good thing because it shows their immaculate balancing. Looking at my own ranking, I still feel unsure about how lower placed the Emerald Elves. Maybe they should be a couple places higher. But if I move a team up a few spots, who should I move down? Even as I'm recording this, I haven't made up my full mind, and that's okay. Remember that these are just initial thoughts, and they will change as I see which teams are putting in the most practice and which games will be announced, and for which teams they'll benefit the most. I'll post my final predictions right before the event starts in the comments below, so go join me there to discuss these epic teams. Well, I've been your host. I hope you found this video informative and enjoyable, and I'll catch you on the next MCC video. See ya!